But I promise you, the very rejections, disappointments, discouragements that you go through, I have been through. There's no way Scott Schwartz has holy water in his office that he can sprinkle on me and say, you'll have an easier time. It doesn't exist. So all of us have that in common, okay? Just because we've been a Blue Diamond for 25 years doesn't mean we didn't have discouragements. I love this slide because I know An and myself are two of the ones that have been privileged to speak at a global convention. And my topic was that believe. And I'm a big believer. I go a lot on faith and on trust. Yes, I come from a medical background, so I have to have things proven to me, but in the end, I still trust my gut instincts. I have to feel good about the people that I work with. This is a book, as I tell you a little bit more about me, that was written and featured 7 multi-level marketing people that did their business each very differently and individually. And I was honored to be in the book, but so ironically, I found myself reading the book several times, trying to learn what the other people did to be successful in their companies. And I found out that there is a roadmap for success, a trail that seems to be very obvious with certain characteristics, and I'll talk a little bit about that today. This whole theme I have going on here about ties, I'm going to talk to it many times. At the end, we have a surprise for you. But look at the 3 initials there. T, tenacious or tremendous, individual effort. I want to emphasize that no matter how good your team is, how good the support of the company is, your success will depend on you being able to get up every day, whether it's for a minute, an hour, or all day, and put your best effort in. A tremendous, a tenacious individual effort. I play a game with myself. I literally do this. I say to myself, John, you're only going to be able to talk to one person today. As soon as you've talked to one person about the business, you're done. Guess what I do? I put more focus on it. I put more of me. I'm a better listener, and I'm a better presenter. I'm a better friend, and I'm a better closer. Why? Because I'm telling myself I only get one shot a day. Now, I guess I can say I lie to myself, right? Because I do give myself the opportunity to talk to more than one person. But that's the mental part of what I do. As I said, I have a medical background. You must know I have a high school education. The job I got, being a distributor for the world's largest orthopedic company, required me to have a college degree. So how did I get it? I lied. I just decided I would put a check mark where it said college degree. Nobody ever checked it, and I worked my way up through the company. So I don't want you to think that what I'm trying to do is tell you to lie. What I want you to understand is your education and what you have learned to this point has little to do with your success. Your success education starts now. Every day you will learn a little bit more about yourself. And I don't know who that guy is with the nice mustache in there, holding that sign. That's me, back in a younger day. But I tend to pick the people that I could relate to. This was our sales team, and we won the award several times for being the fastest growing and #1 in the entire United States. Now, why would I leave this career in 1989, sell it to Zimmer Bristol Myers, and retire? Why would I do that? because, like you, I didn't have the freedom I wanted. It was a wonderful company. I loved Zimmer. But in 1989, in December, I joined Nu Skin. And I love Nu Skin. I will go to my grave loving Nu Skin. It's my 7th child. 6 kids in Nu Skin. And I love it. We get to do some neat things. Some of you are going to hear about your friends here that went to Malawi. Changed my life. This is Napoleon Zambe, a real hero in that community. We get to do things like that. This is one I wanted to take home with me. This is part of our business that we don't just count in money, we count it in our heart. And I've been lucky enough to win 2 cars with Nu Skin. So you know a little bit more about me now. I have a family. One of the things you will find that even though you're busy, and I've watched you all work, I've watched you at conventions, I've watched you at meetings like this, you are amazing. I cannot believe how hard you work. If you're not eating, you're talking on the phone, and if you're not talking on the phone, you're sitting in training, and if you're not sitting in training, you're networking. You have an incredible work ethic. Never lose that. I got to coach my son in basketball. That's the time freedom that I want to talk about. Okay, let's get into just, if you would let me, we're just going to do a little coaching of what John thinks you need to know. If it was the only time in my life I got to talk to you, what would I tell you? And I won't bore you with anything that's not important. You can only control one thing all the time. That is your thinking, your attitude. No one can change that. Nobody can come up to me and say, John, today you're only allowed to think negative. Only I can decide that. So who is in control of your thinking? You are. And is it easy? When you get rejected, when you get somebody up to Ruby, and one day they fall all the way back or fall out, is that easy? No. But who controls that attitude? You do. So, I want to talk about the things that I like to worry about in a day that I have to be in charge of. It's energy, time, and money. I'm going to start with money. I work for money. Money is important. Money is how I supply my family. It's cars, it's house, it's food, it's blessing the lives of others. I don't like it when people think talking about money is in some way bad. The acquisition of money and what you can do with money is good. I also control energy. I get around you and I feel energized. Again, you're amazing people. I did go to Vietnam for the first time when it opened. I've never been so hot and humid in my life. We went to a restaurant and we were eating with chopsticks. I'm pretty good with chopsticks. And we told them it was hot, so they brought a big fan. I was eating and the fan was going so fast, the meat flew off my chopsticks and hit the guy right in the face. Just stuck right there. So you understand, I'm here not just because I was invited to speak. I'm really here because I love the Vietnamese culture. I think it's fantastic. I grew up in West Salt Lake, Glendale Park. Anybody heard of Glendale Park? Salt Lake, yeah. You have some distributors from there. That's where I grew up. Okay, so how are we gonna actually protect our thought pattern? Because there are, yeah, the dream stealers, but you know, whether it's basketball, whether it's business, whether it's marriage, you've got to constantly think of how to protect that. And you've got to stay friends, you've got to have a buddy, a pal, a support person, and you've got to know the right path to take. There's so many roads every day, right? One road is start making phone calls. Another road is to just get involved in social media. They're all good things. How do you choose what will be most productive for you? First off, will you always be right? Don't ever be afraid to make mistakes. If you're not making mistakes along the way, you're failing. Mistakes are part of it, but learn from them and protect yourself. One of my favorite slides, I have a way, the athletes call it getting in a zone. I call it getting in a bubble. When I am focused and I say to myself, I'm going to be 4-star team elite that year, to me, that visual is just what you see there. I am in a bubble. Nobody can attack me. Nobody can steal my dream. I still have a normal life, but in the business side, I'm in a bubble. And so I'll share with you a conversation I once had. I'm recruiting someone, and they said, well, what is your title in Nu Skin? I said, well, it's the top one, as high as you can get. And he said, well, what if you ever fall from that? My bubble came out. And I said, kind of mean, I said, I don't know, what if you got hit by a car tomorrow? What I meant is, things happen. I can't control everything. But I don't worry about those things. I am set on a goal. And I have that protected bubble. Okay, perhaps you've seen this slide before. Purpose of this slide is that I hope you all understand, if you're new in this business or if you're experienced, there's still those days that you've just got to just take a leap of faith. A leap where you just really don't quite know where it will end, but you're willing to do it. I remember my first time talking about Pharmanex. So you probably don't know, when Nu Skin had purchased Pharmanex, they made it 2 separate companies. That's why you saw that Range Rover, they didn't even have Blue Diamond, it was called Presidential Director. And I was the first Presidential Director. I literally went out and talked to a doctor. I was so excited about Pharmanex. At the end, I said to the doctor, what do you think? He said, I think you may be the least informed medical rep I've ever met in my life. I didn't know anything. He ended up being a diamond. I said, thank you for the compliment. I didn't let it bother me, because I know in our whole lives that we don't have to know everything. Do we? Do we have to know everything before we can go do something? No. We don't. Do not overanalyze it. ageLOC Youth is a fantastic product. Oh, what makes it fantastic? It's the best product in the world. What makes it the best product? You'll never want to live a day without it. What's in it? It's the best product in the world. But I mean, tell me seriously, what makes it unique? You won't live a day without it. You can sell that simply because it's passion, okay, and it's belief. So this is a unique setting, isn't it? You know who your teachers are, your mentors and your coaches, but isn't it kind of interesting and almost crazy that we get to start earning money while we're still learning? I mean, that's, in school you have to go through that learning phase and pay for books and professors to learn, and then afterwards they say, okay, now you are free to go start earning